Marcus wanted freckles. Nicky Lane had freckles. He had about 1,000,000 of them. They covered his face, his ears, and the back of his neck. Andrew had plenty of time to look at Nicky's freckles. He sat right behind him in class. Once he even tried to count them, but when he got to 86, Miss Kelly called. "Andrew, are you paying attention?" "Yes, Miss Kelly." "Well, good, Andrew. I'm glad to hear that. Now, will you please pick up your chair and join your reading group? We're all waiting for you." Andrew stood up in a hurry. His reading group giggled, especially Sharon. He couldn't stand that Sharon. She thought she knew everything. He picked up his chair and carried it to the corner where his reading group sat. "You may begin, Andrew. Page 64. Andrew turned the pages in his book. 64, 64. He couldn't find it. The pages stuck together. Why did Miss Kelly have to pick him? Everybody else already had their books open to the right page. He finally found page 64, right where it was supposed to be, between pages 63 and 65. If he had had his own freckles, he wouldn't have to count Nicky Lane's. Then he'd hear Miss Kelly when she called reading groups, and nobody would laugh at him. Later, when the bell rang, Andrew poked Nicky Lane. "What do you want?" "I was wondering about your freckles." "Oh, yeah? What about 'em?" "Well, how did you get 'em?" "What do you mean, how? You get born with 'em, that's how." Andrew thought that's what Nicky would say. Some help he was. "Line up, boys and girls. Time to go home now. Sharon, you may lead the girls. Andrew, you may lead the boys." When they were in line, Sharon whispered to Andrew, "Shh, I know how to get 'em." "How to get what?" "Freckles." "Who asked you?" "I heard you ask Nicky about his. You want to know how to get 'em?" "Maybe." "It'll cost you 50 cents. I have a secret recipe for freckle juice." "Secret recipe?" "Mm-hmm. You don't even have freckles." "Look close. I got 6 on my nose." "Big deal. Lot of good 6'll do." "You can get as many as you want. 6 was enough for me. It all depends on how much freckle juice you drink." Andrew didn't believe Sharon for 1 minute. Not 1 minute. There was no such thing as freckle juice. Andrew had never heard of it before. That night, Andrew had trouble sleeping. He kept thinking about freckle juice. Andrew didn't like the idea of paying Sharon for anything, but he decided if Sharon's recipe didn't work, he'd ask for his money back. It was easy. The next morning, Andrew turned the combination of his safe bank to just the right numbers, 4 on top and 0 on the bottom. He took out 5 dimes. He wrapped them in a tissue and stuffed the whole thing in his pocket. He didn't have time to wash his ears or neck or anything. He wanted to see Sharon before the last bell rang. "Bye, Mom." "Andrew, Marcus, wait a minute." "Andrew, zip up your pants. This afternoon when you come home, I'll be next door. Mrs. Burroughs invited me over to play cards. You come and get the key from me, okay?" "Sure, Mom, okay." Andrew raced to school. He could hardly wait to see the secret recipe. First he'd look at it, and if it didn't seem any good, he just wouldn't pay. Sharon was already at her desk when Andrew arrived. "Did you bring it?" "Bring what?" "You know what. The secret recipe for freckle juice." "Oh, that. I have it. Right here." "Oh, let's see it." "You have the 50 cents?" "Sure, right here." "I'm not going to show it to you until you pay." "Oh, no. First I want to see it." "Sorry, Andrew. A deal is a deal." "Andrew, Marcus, will you please sit down? The second bell just rang." "This morning we'll begin with arithmetic. Nicky, please pass out the yellow paper." Andrew went to his seat. Then he took the tissue with the 5 dimes out of his pocket. He held it near the floor and aimed it toward Sharon. She sat in the next row. Sharon stuck out her foot and stepped on the tissue. Then she slid it over until she could reach it with her hand. She bent down and picked it up. Miss Kelly didn't notice. Sharon counted the 5 dimes. Then she took a piece of folded white paper out of her pocket and threw it to Andrew. It landed in the middle of the aisle. Andrew leaned way over to pick it up, but he lost his balance and fell off his chair. Everybody laughed, except Andrew and Miss Kelly. "Oh, Andrew, what are you up to now? Bring me that note, please." Andrew picked up the secret recipe. He didn't even have a chance to see it. It wasn't fair. It cost him 50 cents for nothing. He handed it to Miss Kelly. She read it. Then she looked up at him. "Andrew, you may have this back at 3 o'clock. I don't want this to happen again. Do you understand?" "Yes, Miss Kelly." "Good. Now let's get that arithmetic done." Miss Kelly wasn't bad, Andrew decided. She could have ripped up the recipe, or sent him to the principal's office, or even made him stand outside in the hall by himself. Andrew could hardly wait for 3 o'clock to come. He didn't bother counting Nicky Lane's freckles. Soon he'd have his own. When the second bell finally rang and the class marched down the hall, Andrew went up to Miss Kelly. She held the piece of white paper and waved it at him. "Here's your note, Andrew. I have the feeling it's important to you. But from now on, you must pay attention in class." Andrew took the recipe from Miss Kelly. "After tomorrow, I won't have any trouble paying attention. Just you wait, Miss Kelly. I won't have any trouble at all." Andrew ran all the way home. Then he remembered he had to go to Mrs. Burroughs' house to get the key. The secret recipe for Freckle juice was folded carefully in the bottom of Andrew's shoe. He made up his mind not to read it until he got home. He didn't want to waste any time getting there. And he wasn't the world's fastest reader anyway, even though he'd gotten better since last fall. Still, there might be some hard words that would take a while to figure out. Andrew pressed Mrs. Burroughs' doorbell. "Hello, Andrew. You're home from school early." "I ran all the way." "How about some milk and cookies?" No, thank you. I just want the key." "Well, come in, Andrew. Your mother's in the living room." "Hi, Mom. I came for the key." "Manners, Andrew, manners. Don't you say hello to all the ladies?" "Oh, hello." "Change your clothes and play outside. I'll be home by 4 o'clock. That only gave him an hour. Andrew dashed back to his house, unlocked the front door, and took off his shoe as soon as he was inside. He pulled out the secret recipe and sat down on the floor to read it. It said, "Sharon's secret recipe for freckle juice. 1 glass makes an average amount of freckles. To get like Nicky Lane, drink 2 glasses. Mix up all these things together, stir well, and drink fast. Grape juice, vinegar, mustard, mayonnaise, juice from 1 lemon, pepper and salt, ketchup, olive oil, and a speck of onion. P.S. The faster you drink it, the faster you get Freckles." Andrew read the list twice. Didn't sound like much of a secret recipe. His mother used those things every day. Of course, she didn't use them all together. Maybe that was the secret part. Well, he'd paid 50 cents. He might as well find out. He climbed up on the kitchen counter so he could reach the cabinets. He found everything except the lemon. That was in the refrigerator. And the onion. Mrs. Marcus kept onions in the basement in a bin. He chose a big blue glass. He'd start with just 1 glassful and then drink another if he wanted more freckles. No point in overdoing it the first time. That's what his mother always said. Now, first the grape juice, Andrew thought. Then he added the other ingredients, one by one. His mother had 2 kinds of vinegars, wine vinegar and plain vinegar. Andrew picked the wine one. He put in some hot mustard, 1 spoonful of mayonnaise, and plenty of pepper and salt. Then some ketchup. Now for the lemon. Andrew cut one in half and squeezed. Oh, no, a seed dropped in by mistake. He picked it out with his spoon. He hated pits in his juice. Now all he needed was that speck of onion, and he was all set. He stirred up the drink and smelled it. Oh, it smelled awful. Just plain awful. He'd have to hold his nose while he drank it. He stuck his tongue into the glass to taste it. Ick! Terrible! He didn't know how he would ever manage to get it down. And fast, too. It said to drink it very fast. That old Sharon. She probably thought he wouldn't be able to drink it. Well, he'd show her. He'd drink it all right. Andrew held his nose, tilted his head back, and gulped down Sharon's secret recipe for Freckle juice. Andrew crept into his mother's bedroom. He didn't feel well enough to walk. He sat on the floor in front of the full-length mirror. He waited for something to happen. Pretty soon something happened, all right. Andrew turned greenish and felt very sick. His stomach hurt. At 4 o'clock, Mrs. Marcus came home. Yoo-hoo, Andrew, where are you? Andrew heard her, but he couldn't answer. He was too weak. He made a small noise. Oh. Andrew Marcus, is that you? What are you doing in here? I told you to play outside. And why didn't you change your clothes? Didn't I say to change your clothes? Ooh. Andrew, you're green. Absolutely green. Are you sick? What hurts? Oh, oh my. Appendicitis. You must have appendicitis. I'm going to call a doctor. No, I better just drive straight to the hospital. No, I'll call an ambulance. Don't move. I'm going into the kitchen to phone. I'll be right back. Oh. Andrew Marcus, I've just seen that mess in the kitchen. Did you or did you not make something and eat it? Oh. Well, young man, I'm surprised at you. Surprised. You scared me half to death thinking you had appendicitis. I always thought you were more sensible, Andrew. I just can't believe it. Now, young man, you are going to bed. Andrew thought that was the best idea he'd heard in a long time. Mrs. Marcus gave him 2 spoonsful of pink stuff that tasted like peppermint. Then she tucked him into bed. Maybe the freckles would come out while he was sleeping. Right now, he didn't care much if they ever came out. He hated Sharon. She'd done it on purpose just to get his 50 cents. He'd show her. She'd be sorry someday. He drifted off to sleep. He had terrible dreams. A big green monster made him drink 2 quarts of Freckle juice 3 times a day. Every time he drank it, the monster got freckles, but Andrew didn't. The next day, Andrew stayed home from school. He only looked in the mirror once. No freckles. He wasn't surprised. He wasn't ever going back to school. Sharon wasn't going to see him without freckles. She thought she was so great. Well, she wasn't going to get the chance to laugh at him. No, sir. But the following day, his mother woke him up and sang, "Time for school, rise and shine. Don't forget to wash your neck and behind your ears." Andrew got dressed. He ate a breakfast bun and drank some milk. But he couldn't let Sharon get away with it. He had to do something. He opened his desk drawer and looked for a brown magic marker. All he could find was a blue one. It was getting late. Blue would have to do. He put the magic marker in his lunchbox and headed for school. He stopped 2 blocks before he got there. He studied his reflection in a car window. Then he took out the magic marker and decorated his whole face and neck with blue dots. Maybe they didn't look like Nicky Lane's freckles, but they sure looked like something. Andrew waited until the second bell rang. Then he hurried to his class and sat down. He took out a book and tried to read it. He heard a lot of whispering, but he didn't look up. Let's settle down, children. Stop chattering. What's so funny? Just what is so funny? Lisa, can you tell me the joke? It's Andrew, Miss Kelly. Just look at Andrew Marcus. Stand up, Andrew. Let me have a look at you. Good heavens, Andrew. What have you done to yourself? I grew freckles, Miss Kelly, that's what. I see. Well, you may sit down, Andrew. Now, let's get on with our morning work. Who ever heard of blue freckles? Andrew didn't answer Nicky. He sat in class all day with his blue freckles. A couple of times, Miss Kelly looked at him kind of funny, but she didn't say anything. Then at 2 o'clock, she called him to her desk. Andrew, how would you like to use my secret formula for removing freckles? For free? Oh, yes, for free. Now, don't open this until you get to the boys' room. Remember, it's a secret formula. Okay? Okay. As soon as Andrew was inside the boys' room, he unwrapped the package. There was a note. Andrew read it. It said, "Turn on water, wet magic freckle remover, and rub into face. Rinse. If magic freckle remover does not work first time, try again. 3 times should do the job. Miss Kelly." Ah, Miss Kelly knew. She knew all the time. She knew his freckles weren't really freckles, but she didn't tell. Andrew followed Miss Kelly's directions. The magic freckle remover formula smelled like lemons. Andrew had to use it 4 times to get his freckles off. Then he wrapped it up and walked back to his classroom. Well, Andrew, I see it worked. Yes, Miss Kelly, it sure did. Well, you look fine now, Andrew. You know, I think you're a very handsome boy without freckles. You do? Yes, I do. Miss Kelly? Miss Kelly? What is it, Nicky? Could I use your magic freckle remover? Could I, Miss Kelly? I hate my freckles. I hate every single one of them. Andrew couldn't believe it. How could Nicky hate his freckles? They were so neat. Nicky, Andrew didn't look good with freckles. But you look wonderful. I'd hate to see you without them. They're part of you. So I'm going to put away this magic formula. I hope I never have to use it again. Well, Andrew thought, she'd never have to use it on him. He was through with freckles. When the class lined up to go home, Andrew heard Sharon whisper to Nicky, "I know how to get rid of them." Get rid of what? Your freckles. You do? Sure. The secret recipe for removing freckles has been in my family for years. That's how come none of us have any. I'll sell it to you for 50 cents. Then Sharon walked up alongside Andrew. Before Andrew could say a word, Sharon made a super-duper frog face just for him.